This is 2 Ezra chapter 6. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or even the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and or ever the intentions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of that follow? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of the man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question Ezra asked thou not. And I answered then and said, O master, that bearest rule, if I have found favor in thy sight, I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of thy tokens, whereof thou showed me part the last night. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon thy feet, and hear a mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where thou standest shall not be moved. And therefore when it speaketh, be not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is overstood. And why? Because of the speech of these things trembleth and is moved, for it knoweth that he end of these things must be changed. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spoke, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And I will begin to make inquisition of them that what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show thee tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear of those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still. In 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation, and the end of your world. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed, and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. And when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him before whom I stood. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. If thou wilt pray yet more and fast 7 days again, I shall tell thee greater things by day than I have heard. For thy voice is heard before the Most High. For the mighty have seen thy righteousness dealings. He have seen also thy chastity, which thou hast had ever since thy youth. And therefore have he sent me to show thee all these things, and to say unto thee, be of good comfort, and fear not. And hasten not with the times that are past, to think vain things, that thou mayest not hasten from the latter times. And it came to pass after this that I wept again and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. In the 8th night, and in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me, and I began to speak before the Most High. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. And I said, O Master, thou spakest from the beginning of creation, even the first day, and saidst thus, let heavens and earth be made, and thy word was a perfect work. And then was the spirit, and darkness, and silence, where on every side the sound of man's voice was not yet formed. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of the treasures, that thy work might appear. Upon the 2nd day thou made the spirit of the firmament, and commanded it to part asunder, and to make a division between the waters, that one part might go up, and the other remain beneath. Upon the 3rd day thou didst command that the waters should be gathered in the 7th part of the earth. 6 parts hast thou dried up and kept them, to the intent that of these some being planted of Yah, and tilled might serve thee. For as soon as thy work went forth, the work was made. For immediately there was a great and innumerable fruit, and many and divers pleasures for the taste, and flowers of unchangeable color, and odors of wonderful smell. And this was done the 3rd day. And upon the 4th day thou commandest that the sun should shine, the moon should give her light, and the stars should be in order. And thou gavest a charge to do service unto man that was to be made. And upon the 5th day thou said unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls, and fishes. And so it came to pass. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of Yah, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one thou called Enoch, and the other Leviathan, and did separate the one from the other, for the 7th part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gave 1 part, which was dried up the 3rd day, and he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devourer of whom thou wilt, and when. Upon the 6th day thou gave a commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, creeping things. And after these, Adam also, whom thou made master of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Master, because thou made the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto the drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O master, behold, these heathens which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be masters over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess the inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? This concludes 2 Ezra chapter 6.